Hello, this is Sheshacharan from Astro Guide Mysore. Today let us talk about the moon's placement in the 6th house. Generally speaking, from the ascendant, so the 6th house is 30 degrees into 6, so 180 degrees it completes. So that is the ending point. So if I take the ascendant, then if I keep 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees 6 times, then I finish the 6th house. After that, the 180 degrees is the midpoint of the 7th house from the ascendant. So, the 6th house has a lot of, significations. For me, the most important signification of the 6th house is service. For others, it depends on the chart. The other important signification of the 6th house is competitiveness, motivation, fear. People who have a difficult position like Moon and Rahu in the 6th house, for them, fear is the most ultimate factor which they want to come out of. So it all depends on Moon in the 6th house and the other planets and their positions. So please do not take it as a general sweep, the thumb rule that, this is said, that is going to happen 100%, your horoscope is this and so you are that. So nothing like that. So it's having a lot of variations because Moon is a very soft planet, very, very, subtle planet. And subtle changes in the horoscope will make a huge change with regard to the placement of Moon and its results. Okay, so the other three major karakatas or 6th house which we usually talk about is Ripu, Runa, Roga. Ripu means enemies, Runa means loans and debts. Roga means diseases. So I spoke about the other two major things, that is the service and the competitiveness or motivation, the urge to do something and even fear. All this comes in the 6th house. The Moon being a very soft planet in the 6th house makes the native very naive in the sense that it's not always he looks innocent, but the person will get his work done through most influential people. So he knows how to manage social contact, social transaction. He knows how to keep people around him. So he will have very less enemies. If you have a very strong planet like Mars or Rahu in the 6th house, they will vanquish their enemies. That is what is known as the Parakrama Yoga, one of the Parakrama Yogas. They will vanquish their enemies in the sense that they will physically destroy their enemies. Physically in the sense you can see them doing it. They will see that the person loses his job, they will see that the person will lose his social stature, and they will do it forcefully. Moon is not like that. Moon is a very intelligent planet. So if one tough man who Moon thinks that he is troubling him has to be cleared off, Moon does not do anything. He will meet another tough man. So tough guy A will be bowled out by the tough guy B, and Moon will happily be sitting and witnessing the game of what's happening, because Moon works with the brain, not with the muscles. So that's very important here. So if this Moon becomes a shrewd Moon, a shrewd Moon or a bad Moon, then it can do many things more. Not only just vanquishing enemies, it can do many things more. So, if it is a very innocent Moon, let's say it's not a bad Moon, it's a good Moon sitting in the 6th house, they get involved blindly, they start believing people. They get involved into scams, scandals, debts. They'll sign somewhere in some paper, they'll come home, they'll think everything is fine. After 6 or 7 years, when the loans are not repaid, the bank will come to your house because we have given the guarantee. The person who has taken the loan has run away or he has become bankrupt. So then you will have to start paying for the next 14 years if it's a 20-year loan. So they end up into court and litigations unnecessary without knowledge of what actually they had done earlier in their past. So that means in the recent past. So this is one of the things which a Moon in the 6th house has to avoid. Okay, so they are physically weak because it is the 6th house is also regarded for muscle power, As the third house is regarded for bhujabala, that is power in the arms, sixth house is also regarded for muscle power. We usually see the third, the sixth, and the 10th for people who are runners. So 3, 6, 10, 11, the upachaya sthanas are seen for people who are runners, cyclists, trekkers, hikers, all these enduring tasks. People where have to show their stamina. Like Kipchoge who runs the marathon, that is ultimate stamina. Keeping a world record and maintaining it, ultimate stamina. So you need to have stamina. See the sixth house. Moon, no stamina, very less stamina. So what would be the next advice? Please exercise daily. You have to sweat. If you don't sweat, moon will make you into a soft doll or a toy. You cannot do any hard work, and finally what will happen is you will succumb to diseases. So moon is a very soft planet, means you will succumb to diseases. Diseases will simply fly and sit on you. It's very easy for them to come inside because the guard is not there. You don't have that strong guard to ward off the diseases. So fifth house moon, plenty of children. Sixth house moon, the other way around. There is difficulty in having children. And it's also the 12th from the 7th house. So you should understand that the 7th house is regarded as the second child of the native. So when 6th house is placed with moon, which becomes the 12th from the 7th, it doesn't do anything to the 5th house, which is the first progeny, that is the first child. But for the second child, it causes a lot of trouble. So that is what we see when we do matching, or we start predicting for children. For people keep asking whether we can go for a second child. After some years they come to us. So the another very important point here is that moon controls sensitivity and sensibility. Both are very different. Sensitivity is pertaining to the 5 senses, and sensibility is pertaining to the way you react or you respond to a particular situation in life. This is sensible. So when we tell that, please act sensible, that means he has to act sensible, has to be sensible in that particular situation. This person will become very hard, emotionless, and knows how to control the situation. That's what I'm trying to tell, that these people are more shrewd, calculative and manipulative if moon has been placed with a hard planet like Saturn. Let's take, people tell that moon and Saturn sitting together, Visha Yoga, that yoga, this yoga. Forget about all those yoga. What actually it does to the behavioral pattern of the native is very important. So the person becomes emotionless. It's a very dangerous thing to happen, but still the 6th placement of the moon controls the emotions better than any other placement of any other planet in any other house. So that means even a Saturn in the ascendant might react, but moon in the 6th house, he will be an ironclad, strong. So he will not show all the unnecessary expressions on the face. So that's a very important point for moon in the 6th house. So if it is with a cruel planet or a rude planet, let's say Mars and Rahu both are sitting along with moon in the 6th house, the person might become a little rude and cruel, frank and blunt, in front of other people. So people might feel bad to have him in a social company, because he will not see left, right, center, he will give you straight. So people don't like, in a social gathering, one pulls the other's leg and the other pulls the other's leg. So it's a jovial system. Though everybody will be using their sarcasms and criticisms to make jokes. Because in the normal social meetings we see that people are actually making fun of you unnecessarily. Moon never does that. When it is in the 6th house, he is very clear and straight. You don't pull my leg, I'll pull the whole of you down. I'll not spare you. And I can't do it physically. I know people, I have friends. I'll see that they will, put an end to this stupidity what you're talking. So moon highly calculates things before doing anything. So moon in the 6th house, very good chess player. Mars in the 6th house, very good athlete. So you can understand this. So Rahu in the sixth house, a good wildlife expert, trekker, animal enthusiast, So it all depends on who is placed in the sixth house. If Saturn in the sixth house, excellent agriculturist, having super brain and experience on what to do and when to do. So these things I'll come further when I speak about all those planets in their sixth houses. So where they should be aware of, these people should be very much aware of their drinking habits if at all they have. If the second house is having a retro Saturn or a Saturn there in the second house with Rahu and sixth house moon, and if the Lagnadipati is a little weak, these people might fall into drinking habits. So drinking or getting addiction, going into drugs, these people cannot come out of it fast. So better be away from all this nonsense so that, avoid the future repercussions. Unnecessarily falling into the ditch is a second. Coming out of it takes hours, and recovering from that fall takes years. So that unnecessary waste of time can be, adjusted, or it can be totally negated. So these people can become highly motivated. So if somebody comes, friends are there sitting that we'll do this and we'll do that, and there's advantage of doing this, that. So these people, moon in the sixth house, will suddenly crop up and jump up and tell, oh yeah, I'm also there, I'm investing my money, come, let's go for that. So it's like, they don't think about too much about the repercussions when they start believing people. This is the point. So he believes X, then whatever X tells, he will simply jump into it. And after some time, suddenly he becomes pessimistic. So this is what is known as early shout. They will start jumping and shouting early, and after a few days, that zeal is not there anymore. That burst of energy is gone. The balloon has burst. So that means that there is not much energy there. So it's the early burst is of no use if you don't have the stamina to continue whatever enterprise or whatever business you have started. So the sixth house moon usually gives too much of emotional enthusiasm only with regard to business investments. I am not talking about personal emotions, which I told they are very strong with that. To business, they think that okay, I can make a buck extra, jump. So then they'll easily lose the their hope, and they become hopeless. They become pessimistic also. They tell that it doesn't work, no, nothing works. And once again, they believe somebody else and they give another idea, they will jump into it. So this is very difficult, point for moon in the sixth house, and these people have to be, nurtured, mentored, and slowly, because you cannot change them. Nothing can be changed actually. In astrology, the planetary placements will be controlling the chart unless there is a very strong Lagnadipati, or there is a very strong retro planet or somewhere sitting which is huge effect over moon or any other planet which we are discussing. Unless there is a strong force which actually controls the planetary behavior, the planet will give its results, and we cannot do anything about it. Nobody can do anything about it. The only person who can come above it and start behaving in a controlled manner is the person who does extreme meditation, a person who has realized his self, a person who has realized his creation. So to that extent, I think even 1 in a crore will not even reach. So for a common man, moon in the sixth house, highly impulsive with regard to business, but very less sensitive with regard to personal emotions. Thank you very much for today's class. Hope I have covered a considerable amount of subject.